Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, hostilities along Israel's northern front with Lebanon continue to gradually escalate. U.S. President Joe Biden claims that a hostage release deal between Hamas and Israel will be achieved by Monday. The U.S. welcomes the Palestinian Authority's claimed efforts to reform, as the Biden administration emphasizes its efforts to achieve the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with security guarantees for Israel. At the backdrop of ongoing negotiations for a hostage release deal, fighting persists throughout the Gaza Strip, while hostilities along Israel's northern front with Lebanon seemingly intensify. Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz toured the northern front at the onset of this week, during the course of which he reiterated Jerusalem's pledge to continue the fight on all fronts until all of Israel's objectives are achieved.
אנחנו מקדמים בימים אלו מאמץ כדי להביא מתווה להשבת חטופינו וממשיכים להילחם והדרך עוד ארוכה. אני מבקש להגיד לציבור הישראלי, אנחנו לא עוצרים עד שמחזירים. לא עוצרים את הלחימה עד שמחזירים את חטופינו, ולא עוצרים את המערכה עד שמחזירים את התושבים לבתיהם בביטחון ומסירים את האיום של חמאס מאזרחי ישראל.
It is important to know that while the IDF is proactively deepening its military achievements throughout the Gaza Strip, the 188th Brigade, which concluded its operational activity in the southern Palestinian enclave, have been deployed along Israel's border with Lebanon and are actively preparing for prospects of an invasion into Lebanon to confront Iran's proxy Hezbollah.
לאחר תקופה ארוכה, עצימה ומאוד משמעותית של לחימה בדרום, עולים כוחות חטיבה 188 להשתתף במאמץ ההגנה כאן בצפון. בימים האחרונים עסקנו באימונים, במוכנות, לקראת משימת ההגנה ולקראת תמרון לאיך שנידרש. לוחמי ומפקדי חטיבה 188 צברו ניסיון רב במלחמה בדרום, נחושים להביא ניסיון זה גם פה לצפון, תוך הפגנת נחישות ומקצועיות, אנחנו נהיה מוכנים לכל דבר שנידרש אליו.
Hezbollah and Israel have been trading blows in an escalatory trajectory since Friday evening, with multiple barrages of rockets fired from Lebanese territory into Israel. During the course of yesterday's hostilities, one Israeli civilian sustained wounds, which drew an Israeli retaliatory strike in Baalbek, east of the Litani River in the Bekaa Valley, that successfully degraded Hezbollah's surface-to-air capabilities, while also killing at least two of the Iranian proxy's operatives, including its regional commander.
العدو يظن أنه يستطيع أن يستعيد هيبته بتماديه في الإغارات كما في استهداف بعلبك وبعض المناطق الأخرى، لأنه يعتقد أنه يعوض ما لحق به هذا الصباح على يد أبطال المقاومة في إسقاط فخر مسيراته بصواريخهم.
And while hostilities are seemingly intensifying along the Israel-Lebanon front, the IDF is deepening its operational achievements in the Gaza Strip. Among others, IDF forces of the Nachal Brigade, in close cooperation with Yalom Special Forces of the Engineering Corps, located and destroyed a number of subterranean infrastructure of strategic dimensions.
כך הנחל ויחידות ההנדסה השונות עסוקים בעת הזאת למצוא את רשת המנהרות שמחברת בין צפון הרצועה לבין דרום הרצועה והולכות מתחת למסדרון הקרקעי אותו צקח הנחל תופס. אנחנו יכולים לראות כאן תוואי אסטרטגי אמיתי של החמאס שמחבר בין צפון הרצועה לבין דרומה. הצקח ימשיך, יאתר ויחפש את המנהרות האלה, ישמיד אותם.
Similar to multiple other instances, the Nachal Brigade's reconnaissance unit located one such strategic tunnel with shafts in both the southern and northern parts of the terror-infested enclave, running through the Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital, which is located south of Gaza City.
במהלך החודש האחרון יחידת סיירת נחל בשיתוף פעולה עם יחידת יהלום ביצעו פעולות התקפיות נרחבות במרחב של בית החולים הטורקי. במהלך התקיפות שביצענו מצאנו מנהרה אשר נחפרה מתחת לבית החולים בעומק של 18 מטר, כאשר ישנם שני פירי יציאה גם בחלקה הדרומי וגם בחלקה הצפוני של בית החולים.
While the IDF continues to fight, eliminating dozens of terror operatives and destroying terror infrastructure on a daily basis, ongoing negotiations to secure the release of the 134 hostages, of whom 101 are believed to be alive, continues. And while details on a plausibly emerging outline remain somewhat obscure, U.S. President Joe Biden noted that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had told him that a deal was in fact imminent.
Well, I hope by the beginning of the weekend. The end of the weekend. At least my national security advisor tells me that we're close. We're close. It's not done yet. And my hope is by next Monday we'll have a ceasefire.
While President Biden voiced confidence in prospects of a looming deal, Qatar, which hosts the Hamas leadership in Doha and spearheads the negotiations on their behalf, cast a shadow over the American leader's estimation.
لا يمكننا التعليق على مجريات المفاوضات حاليا. بالنسبة لتصريحات الرئيس الأمريكي أنا أعتقد يعني نسأل عنها البيت الأبيض أفضل. من ناحيتنا ليس لدينا جديد في هذه المسألة. الجهود كما قلت الجهود مستمرة. أنتم ترون جميعا الاجتماعات ما زالت جارية وكل الأطراف تجري لقاءات بشكل دائم، ولكن حاليا يعني هذا الموعد الذي وضع بلا شك احنا نتمنى أن يكون اليوم قبل الغد، ولكن هذا الموعد لا أعتقد أن لدينا شيء للتعليق عن هذا الموعد تحديدا. If there was an agreement you'd see me here in a more cheer attitude, but till now we don't have an agreement, yes, and we are still working on the negotiations on all fronts.
It is important to know that an Israeli delegation arrived in Qatar last night to continue to hold talks. Nevertheless, Jerusalem officials reportedly expressed pessimism over prospects of reaching an agreement with Islamist Hamas. In parallel, the leader of the terror Hamas organization, Ismail Haniyeh, insisted that his terror group had shown significant flexibility in negotiations, but would not accept under any circumstances what he termed Israel foot-dragging, seemingly indicating immense pressure on the leadership of Hamas to reach an agreement before the IDF's offensive into the town of Rafah. Meanwhile, in the West Bank city of Ramallah, Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh announced the resignation of his government as the Palestinian Authority seeks to appear as undergoing the process of reform.
أنني وضعت استقالة الحكومة تحت تصرف السيد الرئيس، وذلك يوم الثلاثاء الماضي 20/2/24، واليوم أتقدم بها خطيا. يأتي هذا القرار على ضوء المستجدات السياسية والأمنية والاقتصادية المتعلقة بالعدوان على أهلنا في غزة والتصعيد غير المسبوق في الضفة الغربية ومدينة القدس وما يواجهه شعبنا وقضيتنا الفلسطينية.
Well, Palestinian Authority Chairman Mahmoud Abbas traveled to Jordan to consult King Abdullah II on this matter. Qatar and Turkey have reportedly ratcheted up their efforts to integrate Hamas into any future Palestinian Authority, which the United States hopes to designate as the future governing institution over the so-called West Bank and Gaza Strip.
We do welcome steps for the PA to reform and revitalize itself. Secretary has encouraged the PA to take those steps when he's been in conversations with President Abbas and others, and when we've traveled to Ramallah. It's something you've heard this president speak to, and it's something that we will continue to pursue. We think those steps are positive. We think they're important, an important step to achieving a reunited Gaza and West Bank under the Palestinian Authority, so we will continue to encourage them to take those steps.
Alongside evident efforts to reignite long-lost legitimacy for the Palestinian Authority so that it may govern the Gaza Strip, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced over the weekend that the Biden administration alters its policy towards Israeli civilians residing in the disputed territories of Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley, dubbing Jewish settlements as inconsistent with international law.
So I'll say two things. From a policy point of view, we have always been clear that we believe settlements are a barrier to peace and that they weaken, not strengthen, Israel's security and position in the region. As a legal question, it is something that had been under review here at the department for some time. And as you know, the Secretary over the last several months has embarked on a process to try to ensure lasting peace in the region, to establish an independent Palestinian state. And we thought, as we were engaged in that important process, it was important to avoid any ambiguity about the U.S. position on this matter. And so that's why he made the announcement he did on Friday. So what we are trying to achieve is the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with security guarantees for Israel. That is the ultimate policy objective that we are trying to achieve. You've seen the Secretary focus his diplomatic efforts on it. You've obviously heard me speak to that a number of times from this podium. And so we thought, as we go about that process, it was important that we be clear and avoid any ambiguity about this particular legal question.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. It is important to highlight that TV7 Israel is a donation-based non-profit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by our daily updates and would like to help us bear the costs, we would appreciate it if you'd consider making a donation. You can do so by visiting our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.